when I gave the word.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a 2011 film. It's technically the reboot to the Planet of the Apes franchise. This movie is directed by Rupert Wyatt, and the plot is we see James Franco. He's a scientist that's working on the cure for Alzheimer's. His father has it, played by John Lithgow, and he's doing all these experiments on chimpanzees and apes until this one ape responds very well to his testing, and he takes this ape home named Caesar. He raises him as his own, and throughout these chain of events that happen to Caesar, Caesar develops a hatred towards humanity, and you see him rally up an army of apes and start a war against humanity. Now, what I think of Rise of the Planet of the Apes was, wow. Talk about a pleasant surprise when it comes to rebooting a franchise. Here's a movie where, when I first heard about it, I sort of laughed it off and thought it was a joke and thought, really, you're going to reboot Planet of the Apes? Why? Why? And I thought it would be not only a bad movie, but I thought it would bomb and flop. However, when I first saw this, I was blown away. Blown away by not only the story and just how much I cared about these apes, especially the main character Caesar, how much I cared about just everything that happened to him, how close he became with James Franco's character, how they raised him, and just how smart he was. You really almost forgot he was an ape when he was with them. And then when he defends John Lithgow to this person, he attacks this person, and so that forces them to put him into a cage with other apes. And that's where you see just how let down he is by humanity, how betrayed he feels by James Franco's character, and you feel so bad for Caesar. Andy Serkis, you gotta give this guy a standing ovation. I mean, wow. I don't know what's more impressive, the CGI effects that went into this movie, or the fact that he was able to perform all of these emotions, all of these facial expressions, everything that goes into this character is probably all thanks to Andy Serkis. And like I said, the CGI is flawless. It's some of the best CGI I've seen in a movie ever. It amazes me just how realistic these apes look. And I love the moments like when Caesar gets put into that place with the other apes, and how at first they're treating him like an outcast because he's wearing a shirt, just clothes, and they're like, what's wrong with you, basically. And then because of his intelligence, not only does he outsmart them, but he wins them over. And seeing him become the leader of these apes, it's fascinating to watch. And the moment, because this film throughout it has acquired a few comedic moments. It's not like a comedy, but it has a few comedic moments that I think worked, and especially the first time I saw it in the theater with an audience, they were reacting well to it. But the moment when Caesar speaks, he doesn't say a whole lot, but when he first yells at one of the guards and says, "No!" It was a moment where everyone in the audience just was silent and froze. And it was an impactful moment, and you know that it was important and it's meaningful, the fact that its first words was no. Now, let's get to some of the human characters, like James Franco. I know some people will say that they couldn't buy him as a scientist or this type of character, but I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the few people that like James Franco as an actor. I love seeing him in this movie, especially because I found it interesting that Tobey Maguire was originally supposed to play this character, but for some reason he left at the last minute. So James Franco came in, and I think he did a good job. And he ends up developing this relationship with Frida Pinto, who she doesn't do a whole lot, admittedly, but I like her. She's hot, so it was cool to see her in the film. John Lithgow, like I said, is James Franco's father, and seeing him with Alzheimer's and just how much it screws him up is so kind of hard to watch. Just that disease in general I can't really get over. So watching a character like Franco trying to find a cure for it, and the fact that it's a personal reason for him. And other characters like Brian Cox, great actor, very cool that they put him in here. And the character that plays his son, the asshole guard that's watching over these apes, is played by Tom Felton. And he's such a little prick, such a little shit, that it's almost like, you know what, I don't blame these fucking apes for hating humans. I've also heard some people complain that there's not a lot of action in this movie, but for me, I'm more impressed that they didn't put a lot of action here, that they spent more time with the story and the characters and making us care about what's going on. Because when they do get to the end battle, where Caesar and all these apes launch this war, and they're on the San Francisco Bridge, and all of that is awesome. And also the little nuggets of referencing for the original Planet of the Apes movies, I really appreciate, especially because I just rewatched all of them, that I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. Again, I really enjoy this film. I can't tell you how surprised I was when I first saw it, how much I still enjoy the movie, rewatching it. This is pretty up there, one of my favorite Planet of the Apes films. Dare I say it just might be my favorite Planet of the Apes movie. Anyways guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!